Bill O'Reilly here. You are listening to the O'Reilly Update, sponsored by Tax Network USA, America's #1 choice for tax resolution. Please go to tnusa.com/bill or call 800-245-6000. Coming up next, the news with Mike Slater.
Thank you, Bill. It is Monday, October 28th, 2024, 7 days until the election. Here's what's happening today in America. Trump in the garden, millions more views, no more income taxes, and the other big show in New York. That's all coming up, and Bill's going to be here with your message of the day. But first, Donald Trump's rally at Madison Square Garden last night. As Tucker Carlson said when he went on stage, I just followed RFK Jr. and Tulsi Gabbard at a Trump rally in Madison Square Garden. This is a realignment, and it's unbelievable. Trump said the fate of our nation is in the voters' hands. Melania spoke, Elon Musk, Dana White, Hulk Hogan. Trump said next Tuesday, you have to stand up. You got to tell Kamala Harris that you've done a terrible job, that crooked Joe Biden has done a terrible job. You've destroyed our country. We're not going to take it anymore, Kamala. You're fired. Kamala, meanwhile, had a rally in Houston on Friday night in front of what her campaign is calling 30,000 people who were told Beyonce would perform. But she did not perform. Gave a 4-minute speech. Michelle Obama spoke at a rally in Michigan, where with a campaign that admittedly is doing poorly with men, Michelle said, to the women listening, we have every right to demand the men in our lives do better by us. We have to use our voices to make these choices clear to the men that we love. Our lives are worth more than their anger and disappointment. Donald Trump also recorded a 3-hour podcast with Joe Rogan. Rogan's audience is 80% male, but evenly split between Republican, Democrat, and Independent. Do you remember 2 weeks ago, Kamala Harris went on the Call Her Daddy podcast? The media made a big deal about this. That interview has about 700,000 views. The Joe Rogan, Donald Trump interview, in 24 hours, 26 million views. On this podcast, among 3 hours of other things, Donald Trump talked about ending all income taxes and substituting them with tariffs. Rogan said, did you just float out the idea of getting rid of income taxes and replacing it with tariffs? We're serious about that? Trump said, yeah, sure. But why not? We will not allow the enemy to come in and take our jobs, take our factories, take our workers, take our families, unless they pay a big price. And the big price is tariffs. Game 3 of the World Series is in New York. The Dodgers won the first 2 in Los Angeles. Their star player, Shohei Ohtani, had to leave the game because of a shoulder injury. We're told it was a subluxation of the left shoulder. But he will be playing in Game 3, which starts tonight in New York, 8 o'clock Eastern. Again, the election is next Tuesday. Vote early. Mike Slater, podcast Politics by Faith. Bill O'Reilly has your message of the day. Next.
Did you know every day is a perfect day for peace of mind? With American Home Shield Warranty, you are covered for unexpected breakdowns like leaky faucets or faulty water heaters. Choose a plan that fits your budget and rest easy knowing repairs and replacements are taken care of. Simply contact American Home Shield when an issue arises, and their trusted pros will handle it according to your coverage. Don't let worries about appliances and home systems weigh you down. Celebrate the reassurance of protection. Don't worry, be warranty. For 20% off plans, visit ahs.com/bill. For more details, see ahs.com/contracts for coverage details, including limit amounts, fees, limitations, and exclusions. Time now for the O'Reilly Update message of the day. On this Monday, with about a week to go before we vote for President of the United States, most Americans have made up their minds. But I think it's worth a reflection before we actually cast the ballots. So on one side of the equation, we have a very controversial president. Not since Andrew Jackson have we seen a man so polarizing in the White House. As you know, Donald Trump governed for 4 years. It was a pretty prosperous time before COVID. Wasn't a lot of totalitarianism or fascism on display. I don't know one example of that. And when Mr. Trump left office, inflation was 1.4%, the economy coming back strong. Enter Joe Biden, Kamala Harris. By all accounts, inflation, the cost of essentials of life, rocketed, and Americans are still suffering to this day. In addition, the border was opened, and there are now about 14 million foreign nationals in this country, costing the U.S. taxpayer close to $200 billion. Does that make any sense to anybody? So I am not someone who disrespects anybody's vote. All I am asking is that before you cast the ballot, you think about it. Very important. I'm Bill O'Reilly. I approve the message by writing it. You can reach me, Bill at BillO'Reilly.com, Bill at BillO'Reilly.com, name and town if you wish to opine. Now let's go to the mail. Suzanne Meredith, in Navasota, Texas. Last week, the Biden administration canceled $4.5 million in college debt. The Supreme Court has ruled it unconstitutional. I explained it up top, but I just wanted to prove, Suzanne, that good people like you, and I know you are a good person, not listening the way you have to listen to the analysis. Brad Jenny, Middlebury, Vermont. Bill, nice to hear you were up here and enjoyed yourself in Vermont. I have a business in Middlebury, and a few days ago there were some Trump supporters on the Village Green. Well, I hope they weren't harmed. And Middlebury's a beautiful little town, but boy, is Loonville. Far left Loonville. Mike Casey, Philadelphia, just finished Confronting the President. Excellent. Your best book. I'm 75 and never too old to learn. Me too. Never too old to learn. I might put that on my tombstone. Never too old to learn, but now I'm dead, so I can't. Jeffrey Arsenault, Northampton, New Hampshire. Bill, I listen to you every day, but I've yet to hear you comment on Project 2025. What is it exactly, and does Trump support it? Well, why would I comment on Project 2025? Why? Not law. It's not going to be law. Not going anywhere. I believe Trump said he didn't buy into it. I don't think Trump read it. Why would I report on it? There's a million of these things. So I only report on reality. Reality is what we do here. In a moment, something you might not know. Hey, Bill O'Reilly here. America is at a breaking point. Record inflation, interest rates, debt. The last thing we need is more reckless government spending and higher taxes, and they could happen. But a Harris presidency could bring us into that zone, plus a hit to your retirement savings. So protect your savings with American Hartford Gold. They'll help you secure your retirement by diversifying with physical gold and silver. Start with a simple phone call. They'll guide you through the process, even deliver gold and silver right to your door, or place it directly in your IRA or 401k. Don't wait. These safe haven assets can protect you in an economic crisis. Call or text American Hartford Gold today. Tell them O'Reilly sent you to get up to $15,000 of free silver on qualifying orders. Call 877-444-GOLD, 877-444-GOLD Gold, or text GOLD to 65532. Again, that's 877-444-GOLD, or text GOLD to 65532. Now the O'Reilly Update brings you something you might not know. 105 years ago today, the United States Senate voted 65-20 to override a presidential veto from Woodrow Wilson. Despite opposition from the White House, it was soon illegal for Americans to buy, sell, or drink alcohol. Here is a story of prohibition. The movement to ban booze began during the Civil War as thousands of Union and Confederate soldiers abused whiskey to cope with physical and emotional pain. Many became addicted. Even General Ulysses Grant, later president, had struggles with alcohol. In December 1917, the 18th Amendment, better known as Prohibition, was passed by Congress. President Wilson vetoed the bill. The legislature then voted to override the veto. On January 17, 1920, the USA became a completely sober nation, at least in theory. Once implemented, Prohibition was a total failure. The consumption of alcohol remained the same. Prohibition forced the alcohol industry underground, creating a criminal underworld dominated by gangsters like Al Capone. Thousands of Americans got sick or even died from bathtub gin, which was made in people's apartments, basements, and houses. At the onset of the Great Depression, politicians decided Americans needed a drink or two. So Congress passed the 21st Amendment in 1933, repealing Prohibition. And here's something else you might not know. Today, Americans consume more alcohol than ever before. A recent Gallup poll shows 70% of American adults consider themselves regular drinkers. Half of them say they need booze in order to relax. The most popular libation remains the same since the Civil War: whiskey. On average, the typical drinker in the USA consumes 500 adult beverages every year. That's 1.5 cocktails a day. However, 25% of Americans do not drink at all, while 8% are addicted to alcohol. Back after this. Are you feeling the impact of recent timeshare industry changes? Now more than ever, the costs of timeshare ownership far outweigh the benefits. My friends at Lone Star Transfer are the only company I trust to help you get out. Our listeners' positive feedback demonstrates why I've supported the company for years. For more than a decade, they have helped over 20,000 owners get out of the timeshare. Their exclusive options can help you get out faster and easier, more than any other option in the country. They are the only company that will give you a written guarantee and release you from your timeshare in a specific time frame. With an A+ rating at the Better Business Bureau and thousands of 5-star reviews, customer service is their top priority. For free consultation and a guaranteed solution, please call 855-551-7066. That's 855-551-7066, or go to LoneStarTransfer.com. Thank you for listening to the O'Reilly Update. I am Bill O'Reilly. No spin, just facts, and always looking out for you.